May 30th, 1863. When I wrote this letter, we were still at Camp Suffolk, but the worst of the fighting had begun to pass. The rebels had withdrawn from the immediate pressure they had kept on us through the spring, and the sound of constant cannon had given way to long days of watchfulness and cleanup. Bowen later wrote that by this time the siege had broken, not with one great battle, but by steady pressure that finally forced the enemy away. What remained was the work left behind by war. Camps stood among scarred fields. Roads were cut deep by artillery wheels. Earthworks and abandoned positions stretched across the countryside. Men were detailed to patrol, to repair, and to gather what could be salvaged. Relics of the fighting lay everywhere. Broken equipment, torn uniforms, and worse. This was also the time when the regiment began to think ahead. There was talk of change, of movement, and of a future beyond Suffolk. The infantry service that had worn us down on foot was nearing its end, though none of us yet knew what would come next. Spirits lifted some, even as reminders of the cost remained close at hand. I was still well, and so was Marvin. I had time to think of home again, not just in longing, but in keeping things safe, sending small pieces of this life back to be remembered. That is why I wrote about the brass I had sent and the map of our company, and why I asked my mother to frame it. These were things meant to last, to say that we had been here and that we had endured. This is the letter I sent. Camp Suffolk, Virginia. Dear Mother, I was very glad to receive your letter and to hear from home once more. Marvin and I are both well and in good health. I want to know if you have received the brass that I sent home. It has the battle and company printed on it. I want you to keep it safe until I come home. I have sent you some songs and a map of our company. It has the names of all the boys in our company, and there is a cavalry charge in the center. I want you to get a frame made for it. If Ed can do it, let him. I heard about the Slingland girl. Tell Dave to go to his company, and tell Nelson to keep a good stiff upper lip. I am sorry Nelson was not here when the Rebs were so close. They left here in a hurry. We found a rebel's hand that had been shot off with a piece of a shell. Write soon. From your son, L.D. Green.